Boom, boom, boom. Good evening, or noon when this comes out. Welcome to the official start of Halloween Horror Month 2024. As I am recording at the end of the first week of September, it doesn't matter. I'm trying to get ahead of things. My schedule may be a little wonky, so I'm trying to get as much as I can done. So, here we are. We'll start with Night Swim. So, there are a few of these that I've watched. A lot of these are first time watches. Okay. I've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 of the movies if you count the Halloween 4, which is our Halloween review. 6. So, yes, we're starting with Night Swim. Excuse me. I watched this and Imaginary with my son this past summer. It's because, PG-13 horror. I am in no way against PG-13 horror. I hate the idea that a PG-13 horror movie comes out and goes, oh, it's automatically gonna suck. Oh, it's PG-13, so it's gonna suck. And every PG-13 horror movie sucks because it's PG-13 isn't allowed to do anything. Need I remind you of The Ring, The Grudge, 2 of the best horror movies ever made. Both PG-13, right? There are others that I can't name out of the top of my head, but there are other PG-13 horror movies that are good. I'll even throw out Fantasy Island. Yeah, I know it's another Blumhouse movie, but still. What else was there? You could sort of count Megan, even though I'm not a fan of Megan. There is an R-rated cut, I guess, but it's still good. And everybody's also now shitting on Blumhouse. Every time a Blumhouse movie comes out, they're like, Blumhouse again. Okay, I'll give it to you. That Afraid AI movie did look terrible. And I maybe. I'm a Blumhouse horror. Maybe I'll get it. I don't know. It just, as soon as I saw the bits and pieces of the trailer, and I'm like, what are we doing now? Okay. Wouldn't it be something if it was a secret sequel to Megan? Like, John Troia's family moved into the house. It is the What's-Her-Face's house, Gemma's house from the last one, and Megan is now inside this AI. That would be actually something worthwhile to see if it turns out it was a twist that way. Because the tease at the end of Megan was that she was inside the AI, her computer thing. I don't know. We're talking about Night Swim, though, not Afraid, and I would not be doing Afraid. I have everything planned out, although I may do a few bonus reviews here and there, depending on how much time I have. We'll start with Night Swim. Alright, Night Swim follows Ray, played by Big Nose Captain America himself. What is even his dad's name? Kurt Russell. Wyatt Russell. There we go, Wyatt Russell. Son of Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. And if you look at him, he looks like Kurt Russell with Goldie Hawn's blonde hair. Shut up! I don't even know what the hell that was. Anyway, Ray is a former baseball player who has MS, multiple sclerosis, and is battling it when they move into this house that seems to have something going on in the pool. So, I first got onto this when I went to see Aquaman 2. Aquaman, whatever it was called, The Lost Kingdom, right. So, they showed the trailer for this, and I'll admit, the trailer looked interesting. It was the daughter playing Marco Polo with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend sort of just disappears from the thing, and she's playing Marco Polo with something else. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And I even thought that could be something for a horror short. Come to find out, this movie was based on, based on a short, a YouTube short, a horror short, which was the pool scene. Yeah, James Wan purchased the rights for this in 2018, and we have it here in 2024. So it was a January release, even though every piece of this movie streams out summer. In fact, it's like the start of school for them when the movie starts. Yeah. I will admit, so I don't hate this movie, but I see its problems. But I'm still not on the whole bandwagon of every PG-13 horror movie or every Blumhouse movie I'm actually asked to be hated and shat on because of that. Like, I get it, Blumhouse has had a reputation of late. He used to pump out a lot of good stuff, man. And now it's just like, it's here, right? They're just throwing out stuff. Their plan of, making cheap horror movies and throwing them out, making a bang and buck and boom, it works. It works. Now, I myself have not been too impressed. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Megan. We're gonna get to it when I get to Imaginary, but I'm not the biggest fan of that movie either. So, yeah. And then we have this movie, which is kind of in the middle of all that. It's better than both of those. Yes, I said it. It's better than Megan. Shut up. Because I thought Megan was pandering. Yes, it was. I'm sorry. I told you before. My opinion on Megan is that it's Universal trying to give the middle finger to the Child's Play remake, which I generally like and is a good movie. But it's Blumhouse. It's Universal saying, "Hey, they try to one-up us. We have Chucky, right? So we need to one-up them." And what they delivered was a mediocre movie which cannot tie the shoelaces for Buddy. Buddy cannot tie a mediocre movie that cannot tie Buddy's shoelaces. Okay? I said it. I told you I'm not a fan. This one, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not a terrible movie. It's okay. And it's fine to have a perfectly okay movie. Like I even said my score when I was watching it, I'm like, that is a blank movie if I ever saw one. Yeah. So the dad, Ray, he's a former baseball player, right? And the fly won't leave me alone. And he's got MS, and so he's trying to get better, and he's told that, he should try some kind of exercise thing, like, the biking or something like that, maybe even swimming, and they have a swimming pool, so, yeah, they buy this house, and he has a swimming pool, and it seems to work. He has, like, okay, I'll give it to you, like, so the whole thing is, there's something in this pool that kind of controls the person, and how this first starts is that he accidentally falls into the pool. Yeah, I don't know. That was kind of stupid. Like, why can't they just have a scene where they're gonna go swimming and he gets in first and it gets him? Why does he have to fall? I don't know. It's a little iffy. But actually, before we get going, there's an opening scene, which also seems like a horror short. It's this little girl, she's looking for a little boat, and it's in the pool, and I guess she has an older brother who is sick, and she falls in. It does come back later, but, yeah. And the woman selling the house, who I know as the home ec teacher from Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, great flick, Disney Channel original movie, check that out. But, yeah. She's, she doesn't say anything. Of course, she can't say anything at the beginning when they sell the house. It's later where she's like, well, some things happened in this house a long time ago. She does say, you're the first person to buy this house in years, which is sort of, which is sort of a wink, wink sort of thing. Yeah. And you have there's some interesting sequences. Like I mentioned, I mentioned the whole sequence with the girl playing Marco Polo with her boyfriend. Why he just fucks off, gets out of the thing, and walks away, I don't know. Like he's a jerk. Like he just gets up, he leaves, and then he's not there after everything happens, and I don't know. I'm also confused because like multiple times during the film, they seem to think, when they're in the pool, they seem to think they see the dad standing out there, and when they pop up, he's gone. That's not what confuses me. In the opening, the little girl saw her mother, but if it's her brother that's supposed to be being healed, then I don't know. I mean, they do show there that the mom still is, infected, whatever. There's some creature. Apparently, they do explain it. It is basically a wishing, well, dang, it's something that they make a wish, and it comes true, but they have to make a sacrifice. One of those things. And for some reason, when the mom goes to visit this woman, she's still infected because she's inhaling the water through her oxygen tank or something. Yeah. Because they show, at one point, they try to get the dad out of there, and he starts hacking and coughing, like there's something stopping him from leaving, which is a big cliche. Like, they can't, why don't they just leave? Oh, they can't, we gotta come up with a reason why they can't just leave, because then there would be no movie. So, yeah. But the movie then goes down the rabbit hole, because she knows there's something wrong with her husband. She goes to talk to this woman, figure out what it is, and leaves her kids at home. Well, they're not home, but she knows her kids are going to eventually come home, right? Why didn't she tell the kids, hey, why don't you take your friends' houses and don't come home? Do not come home. Whatever you do, do not come home until I tell you to come home. But no, we have a climax. So the mom leaves to go talk to the Asian woman, and then the kids come home. My big problem with this whole thing is that there has to be sacrifice. The dog gets killed. First thing, the first victim of this movie is the dog. There's your sacrifice. But yet the whole movie, they're like, oh, they need one sacrifice. Woof, woof, dog. One sacrifice. Why doesn't it count? They never say one human sacrifice. They say one sacrifice, period. Ignoring the fact that the dog was taken, was killed. How doesn't it count? It counted on Wish Upon, which is another horrible PG-13 movie. But okay, the worst part about that movie is the ending. Otherwise, the teenage girl stuff, I guess. I rewatched that with my son as well, and it's still not. No, we were making fun of it all the time. Oh, Slender Man, we're making fun of Slender Man too. You know the first line of that fucking movie? Did you know that, I don't remember what it was. It's a stupid line. Something about, I don't remember, but it was a stupid frickin' line. Right away, I started laughing. He's like, what? I'm like, that's the first line of this movie. That tells you how this movie is gonna go. That's Slender Man. That's a terrible movie. But this is not bad. It just, once the climax happens, it's like how they get ready to snap out of it is like, okay, so they're really trying to nail it in that Ray prefers baseball to his family. He keeps choosing baseball to his family, over his family. At one point, he tapes baseball stuff over stuff of his family, and he prefers that to his family. So, of course, it's going to come down to in the end that he chooses his family. And so the mom shows up and talks to him like, hey, get the fly off the camera. Hey, your family needs you. You got to snap out of it. And so he sacrifices himself, which in no way, shape, or form should actually work because the sacrifice is to save him. Like as soon as they hinted to that, it's like, I know what I have to do, and I'm like, oh, we're doing this. Really, we're doing this, sacrificing himself. Why? Why? I've seen movies where they have the thing where they can't leave a certain area or it gets them. Well, in those movies, they do eventually leave, and it eventually wears off once they get far away enough. Just do that. Why do we have to have the dad sacrifice himself for his fucking family? I understand that's the whole point of this movie. Is he's good. You can still do that. Have him snap out of it and save his family. Get out of there. Have the creature take its own form once he snaps out of it and go after the family through the water. Right? They have the hint that the water's throughout the freaking house now. So have it come out of every faucet coming after them. Maybe the house gets destroyed because of a flood or situation or something. I don't know. But he chooses to fight and get them out of there. And then you have them burying the pool and everything. Right? He doesn't need to sacrifice himself. It doesn't. He doesn't. It's so cliche of he needs to sacrifice himself for his go away for his family. It's stupid. I hate that kind of ending. Like I hate it when the only course of action for a movie like this is sacrifice. Character has to sacrifice. Again, going back to what we're talking about Wish Upon, it's a similar kind of thing where they set up in that movie that I guess it's not similar enough, but it's the same kind of ending where our main character dies for no other reason than the script calls for it. Because at the end of that movie, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen that terrible movie, she makes a wish to go back to the day she found it, which means she hasn't made a single wish yet. Technically, she made all 7, but also technically, she's gone back in time and hasn't made any wish. Yet she still dies because of that. Because that's what the thing said, you make 7 wishes. Because technically she made 7 wishes. But actually, technically not. Because we're back in time before she made any of the wishes. Now, had she actually wished, I feel like it was the phrasing. And had she actually wished, I wish I never found it, then it probably would have worked. But yeah, it's just like, I don't get the cliche of you have to sacrifice yourself because script says so. And that's what it's, because like I said, I came up with a way to get around it. Maybe he snaps out of it and says, no, I'm not going to do this. And the creature comes alive through the water or something. Yes, it would be kind of stupid. But, he saves his family. They get out of there. And at first, he has a hard time, but they drive, doesn't go and keep going, and maybe that's the sacrifice. I don't know. Maybe it looks like he dies, and then he comes back to life. I don't know. The sacrifice thing really pissed me off when it happened. So then the dad's just gone, and they're like, "Oh, we could leave, sell the house, make someone else's problem," and the kids are like, "No. Then someone else will be a victim. We have to make sure." So they're burying the pool. Okay. But also, there is a hint that if they want to make a sequel, I don't think they would, didn't make enough money. But if they wanted to make a sequel, there is enough with it, like going through the entire house. Maybe it got out into the town, the water. Who knows? There's no post-credit scene. There's nothing. I don't think they ever intended to make a franchise out of this one. It's one of those we're just going to make a movie and throw it out. Which should be the motive for most movies. And yet, every single movie that comes out, if this is a success, we can make sequels. Just throw a movie out to make a movie. Don't do it to make a franchise. Focus on, that's where all the problems come from. Is you're too busy trying to build a franchise and not focusing on one movie. Which this does, and you could build on it. we're not going to get a sequel because this did not do very well. It was not received very well. I don't know. But, yeah. And like I said, after we got done watching it, I said, that is a middle-of-the-road movie if I ever saw one. So that's my rating for it. The middle of the road. And that's what it is. The acting is not bad. Especially Wyatt Russell does a pretty good job. There's a sequence in this movie that had me, like, really going because of the music and his acting. It's when they're playing chicken in the pool. You don't know what chicken is. It's where you're in the pool with friends and they get on your shoulders and they're going to hit each other until the other one falls in the pool. And so he's on the bottom and the kid's on top and they're playing, and the creature takes over and he just keeps walking to the deeper end, and basically drowning this kid. And the tension is like, who's gonna save him? Eventually they save the kid, but then that family was something to do with him now. But the score in this is pretty good. It's not a bad score. Like I said, there are its moments. The Marco Polo thing, it has its moments, but I don't know. And the climax has the dad running around yelling Marco, which of course leads to a jump scare where he goes, "You're supposed to say Polo," and I'm just like, yeah, okay, sure, but yeah, it's a middle of the road. It is the definition of a middle of the road movie in my opinion, and that's not a bad thing, Do I recommend it? Sure. If you want to throw something on like a Sunday afternoon like I did, just put it on, relax, right? It's not the hard movie to watch. It's actually an easy one to put in the background while you're doing stuff, you know what I mean? So there it is. What are your thoughts on Night Swim? It will help so much. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.